The former UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan is to head a commission looking for ways to end the violence in Myanmar's Rakhine State. The government's decision to appoint Mr. Annan is seen as a sign that Myanmar's de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi may be willing to listen to new ideas to solve the crisis. Rakhine is home to Myanmar's Rohingya, a persecuted Muslim minority which has been subject to attacks by Buddhist militants. 100,000 Rohingya have been internally displaced as a result of the violence. Our correspondent Jonah Fisher is in Yangon.
This has come as something of a surprise. It's the first time that the Burmese government has asked for international help in solving the protracted problems in Rakhine State. Aung San Suu Kyi has set up a 9-person advisory commission, 3 internationals, 6 Burmese nationals. It will be chaired by Kofi Annan, the former head of the United Nations. So why is she doing this? Well, a cynic would say it's because Ban Ki-moon is in town next week to attend peace talks, and she's got a high-profile trip to the United States lined up for September. But there is more at play here. By getting someone as high-profile, as respected as Kofi Annan on board, I think Aung San Suu Kyi is making it clear that she is expecting there to be new ideas and new thoughts to come out of this process. The door is ajar, if you like, to some new proposals to solving Rakhine State's problems. And that in itself is significant. It could be that she's hoping that this commission will put things on the table for discussion, perhaps some route to citizenship for the Rohingya that were politically difficult for her to advocate for, that they will be put on the table for further discussions. Now, there are about 800,000 of these stateless Rohingya Muslims in Rakhine State. Most Burmese people don't regard them as having any right to Burmese citizenship. They regard them as being effectively Bangladeshis who've come into this country illegally. Now, about 100,000 of those Rohingyas are in particularly grim conditions in camps. They were driven out of their homes in 2012 after violence with Buddhist mobs in Rakhine State. So for them, the last 4 years have been pretty unremittingly grim. There's been really no indication that anyone was trying to look at solving the problems in Rakhine State. We've seen a system almost of segregation. Some have even called it akin to apartheid in place there, where the Buddhist and the Muslim Rohingya communities have been kept very much separate from each other. So this news today of an advisory committee being set up, well, it could be the start of something significant. But I think for the Rohingya in Rakhine State, when they hear this news, this will give them just a glimmer of hope that efforts are being made to address their dire situation.
Jonah Fisher in Yangon. Some debate actually about whether Rohingya or Rohingya is the correct pronunciation, because with me is Tun Khin, president of the Burmese Rohingya Organisation in Britain. You must welcome this commission after such a long time.
Yes, we welcome the establishment of new commission. We want to see actually how far they will move forward with their works, and also we are quite disappointed that they excluded the Rohingya from the commission. It is quite important that we need to look at how can the commission decide the Rohingya future, not including any Rohingya in the commission. This is a very important question here we need to look at.
But it does seem that as far as Aung San Suu Kyi historically, and indeed the military authorities, the junta before her, and indeed for a vast majority of the population of Myanmar, there is not an appetite to include the Rohingya in national dialogue.
Well, if you look at Rohingya issue, this has been like many decades. Since 1962, they strip up our ethnic rights and then citizenship rights, and then they impose restriction of movement, marriage, education, and then creating popular violence and pushing us to the camp. This is a systematic government policy to eliminate the Rohingya people of Burma. But if you look at after 2015 election, when NLD came to the power, Aung San Suu Kyi is an icon. So as an icon, as a Nobel Peace Prize winner, I believe that NLD have to, see something with international, law, international line.
She didn't even address the issue really on the campaign trail, did she? Before the last elections.
Yeah, we're very disappointed on that. But establishment of this commission must include the Rohingya. The international community having there is this will highlight international norm. Rohingyas are facing violation of international law. So this is very important that excluding Rohingya, it will not bring to get a long-lasting solution.
What are you hoping then for the outcome of this commission to be? How can a long-lasting solution be found, and what would that involve for your people?
Currently, this is look good. Kofi Annan as a high-profile figure is there, but Rohingya voices need to be heard. How can they consult with the Rohingya community if there is no Rohingya people are not there in a commission? This is very important point here. And also, it's been decades we are facing persecution. Early this year, there is a report that UN have mentioned human rights violation against Rohingya constitutes crime against humanity. But we still did not see any action from NLD government and from international community. At the same time, when commission is going on, NLD government have to take immediate action to lift up restriction on 8 agencies in Rakhine State, where more than 140,000 Rohingya in IDP camps. It's been 4 years. They're facing medical and healthcare. It's been totally blocked. So it's really important that to provide aid to the community, to the IDPs people, Rohingya IDPs in Sittwe. At the same time, lifting up restriction on movement, marriage, education is very important. It will take more than 1 year to get outcome of this report. But NLD must deal with it to lift up those basic rights of the Rohingya.
Right.
International community has to also continue to support that.
All right, Tun Khin, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on the program.